Hello, Raymond. It's a great opportunity and a privilege to have you here. It's the second time you're here in the headquarters of RTCK. I'm very happy to do the interview with you. So it's your second time in here, and I have some questions for you. I would like to divide this interview into two subjects, I would say. On the first one, I would like to focus on your life, on your history, and then I would like to talk to you about the messages of Saint Charbel. I would like to start with the first question about your childhood. Can you tell us, because when you were here last time, you were telling us the story of your life, and you said about the war that you joined when you were 13. So that was a horrible experience, I can imagine, for a child like that. But what were your happiest memories before that time, before the war? Can you share some stories?
Firstly, let me express my pleasure and my honor to be with you again.
Thank you.
I feel really at home among my brothers. So thank you for receiving me another day. My childhood, actually, it was very happy childhood before the 13. So if I can divide my childhood in two parts, it was the first part before 13 years old and then after the 13 years old. Before, it was a very, very, very happy childhood. Most of it was in the village. It was a very peaceful village. Studying at school, mostly at the city. And then we spent most of the time, especially during springtime and summertime, in the village. Playing, running in the fields, chasing butterflies, running after the birds. It was a typical childhood in the village. And I was surrounded by wonderful parents, wonderful grandparents, my brothers, my cousins. You know, in the villages we live as big families. So it was so happy, so peaceful, so we kept always laughing. So the main idea of my childhood was happiness and laughter. Was always laughing, playing, even at school. The school, my school was not like other schools. I was very happy at school, even among my colleagues, with my teachers. Even the school was extremely happy. So I can describe clearly that my childhood before the war, it was a very happy childhood.
And so then the war came, and you were just 13.
Yeah.
And you decided to join the army. It's not usual I think, to join the army when you're 13. Was it like a common thing when you were in Lebanon at that time? What made you decide to join the army at the time? What were your parents, your family saying about that?
No, I didn't decide to join the army because I was like a hippie. I loved to play guitar and drums. I had a long hair with those special pants, white pants.
Bells, we call it in Poland.
Bells, exactly, yeah. So I was so happy playing music, dancing, singing. It was like the center of my childhood activities. I loved the music, and especially drums and guitar, and I had a beautiful band. And then the war came into my lap. I didn't go to war. I didn't want to join the army. So in a very tragic incident, my colleagues in the band were killed, and then I decided to take action to defend my village, my parents, my church, my people, because I didn't want them to be killed the way my friends in the band were killed. So I found myself having some training to use the machine guns, grenades, and things like that. And I started fighting with the closest front to my house, which was a few meters away.
Were you the youngest one at that time?
I think I was the youngest one in the history of Lebanon to join any army.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't join the army. I felt that like the army is joining is joining.
Your life.
It's people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they entered in my life, not voluntarily. I didn't want. I hated war, like everyone. Nobody loves war, and if I was to choose, I will avoid it. But I couldn't avoid it because the war was at the door of my house and killing everybody around me. And every day we were saying goodbye to a lot of people, young men who were fighting. We were not professionals. You know, when you're not professional at war, you get killed easily. So we were not very well trained, just the basics of training, because we didn't have time to train. And we were against people very professional in fighting. That's why it was very tough. Many people were killed. And I lost a lot of my friends. And this was the breaking point of my life where everything changed.
Okay. You were saying about having lots of like kind of metaphysical questions. Did those questions come during the times of war, or did you have them like before that time?
No, I had always the same questions about life, the meaning of life, but they were peaceful questions. Okay. So I was questioning, where is God? Why I cannot communicate with Him? Why we cannot see Him? Why we cannot touch Him? I was asking questions about the Eucharist, about the presence of Jesus in the Eucharist, about the presence of God in our spirits. So I was confused, where is God? So He is the creator of the universe. He must be somewhere above the stars. And then He is in Jesus Christ. He is in the Eucharist. He is as the Holy Spirit inside of us. So I got like confused. Okay, where is God? And I was studying, searching very peacefully, knowing better about the universe, about the stars, the galaxies, the formation of the universe, and I was looking for God there, very peacefully, slowly, without any problem. And then when I started facing death, war is something extremely serious. So you can lose your life, and you can see every day some of your brothers and sisters in war, or your colleagues falling either wounded or killed. And it's not easy to see one of your beloved ones falling and covered with his blood and agonizing, and then losing his spirit, and he is dead in your hands. And you know, in war you will be always waiting your turn. So you are always saying goodbye to your friends and waiting one day that you will say goodbye to them, and you will be put in a box and then shipped away. So everything changed because I felt that life is much more serious than you think when you're a child. When you're a child, life is not serious. So you're always joking, laughing, playing. And then it was very early where I sat in front of the angel of death. We call it Azrael in our language. So it was very tough, and started asking the same questions, but more seriously and with a lot of pain and sorrows. So what is the meaning of life? Why did God create us? And you know, there is an adversity and an enmity between human beings and death. Death is the main enemy of the human being. So I started asking questions about God. Why did He create us since we will die? So what is the meaning of life? What are we doing on this planet? Okay, we are born here. Nobody asked us if you want to come or no, because He cannot ask us. We don't exist yet. So, and when you come here, you don't choose your country, your parents, your language, your school. You don't choose anything. You feel that you are growing up in an environment. And then you start facing the serious questions of life. And the most serious question is death, losing people. So the same questions became tougher. And with a lot of pain, I was asking, what am I doing on this planet? Okay, among the war, and the war kept going for 15 years.
Yes, I remember last time when you were here, you said about this experience of last heartbeat of your friend.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough topic. I don't want to concentrate much on it, but you were saying about the last heartbeat, how important it is. But I would like to ask you about the first heartbeat of your firstborn child, who is here with us, actually. Have becoming a parent change your life? Because actually it happened during the war, right?
Yes.
As far as I know.
I got my 3 children during the war.
Okay. So the first question is, how being a parent changed your life, and how did you cope to to live at the time of war? Because you said that you were fighting, you said that you were studying, and you
Praying.
started praying at the Annaya.
Yeah.
So if you can just tell us about it. So the first heartbeat, maybe we
Yeah,
can
the
start with
first
that.
heartbeat, with every one of my children, I got a new experience.
Mhm.
With the first one, I became a father for the first time.
Mhm.
So there is a song in Lebanon. It's a very famous song for a very famous singer called Wali Asafi. He says in Arabic, "Sirt mitlak bay ya bay." He was talking to his father, telling him that now I am a father like you, my dad. And now I know your value because I became a dad. I know now more the value of my dad because I became a dad like him. So I remember the first time when Francois came to this world, I went up to Annaya. I looked at the sky. I talked to my father. And I said to him, okay, now I became a father like you, my father. And I know more about you. So because when you become a father, you can touch more the feelings of a father. And this was a moment where I really felt the love of the father because I felt my love for my first kid coming. And for me, it was a turning point in my life. The bad side, small bad side, I became coward.
Mhm.
Before Francois came into
Okay.
life, I was very courageous. I didn't fear anything. I can jump anywhere. I can fight everywhere. And then Francois arrived, and I started covering myself, taking shields,
Because you
not
were
taking a lot of
responsible.
risks. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I felt that I'm a father now. I'm not allowed to do things that I did before.
Mhm.
And then with Rita, my daughter, Rita came in the worst day of the war in Lebanon.
Mhm.
It was a terrible day. I remember when Rita was born, I took her in my hands. I looked into her eyes, and I was surprised that Rita opened her eyes and looked straight into my eyes. It was like arrows penetrating in my heart. And I looked at her and I said, what are you coming to do in this world? It was terrible. People were killing each other. It was a very difficult and tough war. Shells were all around us, and I was responsible for one of the fronts, and I have to go and join my soldiers.
Mhm.
So I looked at Rita, and this was the main question. What are you coming to do in this world? Why are you coming now? It was really a terrible moment. And I put Rita with Raymond, my wife, and the next time I saw her, it was after 6 months, because it was on the front. It was a very tough period of my life. We lost a lot of our friends. And then I saw Rita for the first time. She was a bit bigger than the first time I saw her. And the third, Rudy, who was the youngest one, it was the time of the Syrian occupation of Lebanon. So I was like taken to jail several times.
Mhm.
And my wife was pregnant, having Rudy in her womb, and she was looking for me because I was arrested by the Syrians.
Mhm.
Nobody knows where I am, because there is no human rights, so they can take you kidnap you, and you disappear.
Mhm.
And Raymond was pregnant, and unfortunately, she started looking for me in the army bases to ask about her husband. Where is her husband? It was a very tough period for her. And then I appeared. I was released. And Rudy came in a period where I was so in need of someone to reconciliate me with God, because I passed through a period where I was so sad and so angry that I decided that God is not existing anymore.
Mhm.
Because it was a terrible war among Christians.
And was it the time when you were like going to Annaya almost every night? Was it that time? Because you started going there in 85.
85,
right?
yeah, exactly. No,
So during the time of your prayers, you had this thought of like God does not exist?
Yeah, it was in 1993.
Okay.
In 1993, I went up to Annaya after the war, in 1990, when the war among Christians started. So there was a period where I stopped praying. I was so angry with God because I was asking him, why did this happen between Christians? You know, when Christians started fighting each other, we lost the war. So I felt that after 15 years of continuous fighting against the Syrians and Palestinians, now the Christians are fighting each other and we lost the war. Losing the war for a fighter, it's something devastating. You feel that it's worse than losing your life. If I lose my life in the war, it will not be difficult for me, it's easy. But losing the war, which means that you lost the blood of your friends. So thousands of my friends fell in different battles for 15 years, and now we are losing the war. And we are losing the war for something so stupid, fighting each other. So that's why I went up to Annaya one time, and I was very angry. I knocked the door of, I knocked it down, and I went into the hermitage. I was like furious. I looked at the sky and I said to God, okay, you don't exist. And I passed through a period, it was a very dark period in my life. I stopped praying, I stopped reading the Bible, and I decided to take God out of my life. And it was really dark. So I felt this huge emptiness inside of me. And I was like, I wanted to revenge in any way, but I couldn't do anything. I felt so weak, so empty, so useless. I felt that this life has no meaning. And I just decided to do nothing, just waiting to die.
But you shouted like in God's face about that, those emotions?
Yeah. I shouted. I looked at the sky and I started screaming and shouting and saying,
you don't exist.
You don't exist. Okay. You don't exist. And then Rudy came. And Rudy carried with him a message for me that hit me right in the heart. So when Rudy came, he got sick when he was 40 days old. 40 days old, he had fever, he got sick, and we took him to the hospital. So at the hospital, I was holding Rudy in my hands, and the nurse came to put the injection in the hand of Rudy. And the hand of Rudy was so tight. So she started piercing his hand to put the injection. So Rudy was crying, he was moving, he was kicking, and he doesn't want to get hurt. And I was holding Rudy so tight to allow to the nurse to put the injection. So I felt that I was doing something to help my son, but he's refusing. Okay, he's kicking, he doesn't want to have this medicine. And I know that Rudy needs this medicine to stay alive. So when the injection was put in the hand of Rudy and Rudy calmed down, I put him in the bed. Raymond was beside him. And at the night, I went up to Annaya. I looked at the sky and I said, okay, I got the message.
You got me the...
You were holding me tight. I was suffering and I was kicking and I was having problems. But you know better. You are my father. So maybe you were holding me tight and I was suffering and doing all these things because I was suffering. But you know that that was needed. So Rudy reconciliated me with God, and I said again, I felt like the sky is opening now, and hello, Dad. So and
you started visiting him again.
Yeah. So every one of my children came with a special message for this specific period.
Okay. And at the same time, you had that, if I can say, that relationship with Father Charbel, with Saint Charbel, because he was like very popular at the time, famous in Lebanon, and you were like visiting his place almost every night, as you said.
Yeah.
And how was it that, because you said you were fighting, you were studying, you had your family, and then you were going at night to the hermitage. How could you combine all those things together?
I was working during the day, my normal work, which most of it was in the military. And after that, I was making a lot of researches and studies to know more about the universe, about the composition of the matter, to get to know God more, because we know God from His creation. And I was meditating on the Bible, because I was doing always three things, walking on three tracks. One is fighting, the other is studying, the other is praying. And I wanted to meet God on one of these tracks. So the fast track was fighting. So if I got killed, I will face God directly. The other one, which was a bit tough, studying, because studying the universe and to get to know God, and scientifically I know that the Creator is outside of His creation. You cannot meet God in His creation inside. He is outside. So since God is outside His creation, it's very hard for our senses to touch God. So that's why it's difficult. You cannot apprehend God in your mind. But I was doing, because I love science, and I still love science. And the third thing is I was digging down in the Bible, waiting for God to reveal Himself to me in a verse, in a passage, I don't know. So I was doing these three things mainly. I was not
24 hours enough for all of them? 24 hours a day?
No. I've never lived my life with enough hours to do what I have to do. I'm always squeezed and in a hurry. I feel that if now the day is 72 hours, I can fill them. So during that time, my relation with Saint Charbel was a funny relation.
Just a question, because I remember you saying that you were drawn to Charbel on two levels, a scientific one and a spiritual one.
Exactly.
And when the spiritual one is like pretty obvious, I wanted to ask you about the scientific one.
The scientific one, I had a problem with the amazing story of the body of Saint Charbel.
Okay.
Saint Charbel died in 1898. He was put in his tomb, in his grave, and then the night of his burying, he started, some mysterious light started coming out of the grave of Saint Charbel, and it kept shining every night for 4 or 5 months. And then they decided to take him out, to see what's going on inside, where the light is coming out. And there was no electricity, so the light should be coming from somewhere mysterious. So they took out the body of Saint Charbel. He was literally sleeping. It was not corrupted at all. They can move his hands, his head. It's like was a sleeping person. They took him out, they washed him, they changed his clothes, they put him in a gasket, and they discovered that he is sweating. So they can see sweat on his forehead, on his cheeks, on his hands. He was sweating. And then the gasket started be filled of this liquid. This liquid was a mixture of plasma and sweat. It's like blood and water. And the monks there started a terrible journey with this body. So they were always washing him, changing his clothes, changing even gaskets, because the first gasket got corrupted, and then the other and the other. And they did a lot of horrible things to the body of Saint Charbel. They cut him and they took out everything inside, because they said that maybe he is filled of waters, maybe to stop the sweating. And then they put him in what you call it in French, it is chaux vif. It's a kind of matter that we put things in it to burn them. So they tried even to burn the body of Saint Charbel chemically, and he kept sweating. And he kept sweating from 1898 to 1965, the day of his beatification. So for me as a scientist, if you have a short calculation, if Saint Charbel was oozing 2 to 3 liters per day for 67 years, which means that around 30,000 liters came out from this small body. Scientifically, it's against all the scientific laws. So I was just trying with my small mind to resolve this mystery. How can he produce 30,000 liters of liquids? He's dead. So I broke my head in thinking, trying to find some explanations, in vain, no explanations for this. And I realized this was on the scientific level. On the spiritual level, something was really mysterious with Saint Charbel. Every house in Lebanon, they have an experience with Saint Charbel. He was healing people, helping people, relieving people, getting people to come back to their faith. So he was always moving in Lebanon. You can feel that Saint Charbel is doing always things in Lebanon. So I thought that, Saint Charbel died 100 years ago, but he's still alive. He's always giving signs of life. So you can see every day signs of life of a dead person who died 100 years ago. So I thought, okay, Saint Charbel is alive. If I can get a contact with him, just to know what's going on the other side of life, because Saint Charbel is on the other side. So I was feeling like I wish I can get a contact with him to ask him about the other side, because I had a worry in my life. I was always asking, if I die today, where will I be tomorrow? It's something to worry about. So I was thinking that maybe any way or another, if I can get in touch with Saint Charbel, who is still alive on the other side, maybe he can give me some hints. So after spending the night praying, reading the Bible, and meditating, and trying to find answers for all these questions, I always ended my prayers with looking at the hermitage and saying to Saint Charbel, please give me a hint what's going on the other side. And I leave. So I kept doing this for 10 years. And after that, I think that he gave me the hint of what's going on the other side.
So yes, we do know all that story, that experience that happened to you at that night, which was like amazing night for you, and it was repeated for many times after that. But can we say that you chose Charbel and then he has chosen you? Do you feel like you're the chosen one because of the experience with him, because of the sign of his hand on your arm?
We have to be specific in using the term chosen.
Okay.
For me, everyone is chosen. Okay, you are chosen to do what you are doing, and Alec and Patrick and Francois, and everyone is chosen because God chose us. So to say chosen, because people, they will think that it's some privilege. So God is not giving any privilege to anyone. So we are all his children. We are all chosen, but everyone to do a thing that he is chosen to do. I didn't choose Saint Charbel. I was chosen only to get in touch with him, to get some information. And Saint Charbel didn't choose me because he chose everyone. So it's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of assignment. So maybe he is assigning me a specific mission to do in this world, like you are assigned to do what you are doing. The common ground for all these assignments is to take the right way, with Jesus Christ, and to sanctify our lives from different angles, different point of views, different talents. This is the most important thing. So to say about chosen, let us be specific. We were assigned a task. So I was assigned like a task. I didn't understand anything about, with the first encounter, I didn't understand anything. Even I didn't know exactly who was talking to me. So it was like a presence that I cannot describe. This is so amazing, beautiful, wonderful presence that changed everything in my life, that opened my eyes, my heart, and everything. And I started this journey this was day 0. You know, it was my birthday, my 33rd birthday. So my first birthday, day 0, it was in 1961. And then another day 0 in 1994. And then I started a totally new life.
Because you were saying that just after that experience, it wasn't easy for you because you had some troubles with church, acknowledging the things that happened to you. And you were saying that you were trying to discover your mission. One of the hermits told you, as I remember, well, you have to discover your mission. Charbel wants something for you. When was the time when you realized that what your mission is, and what actually did you do, and what do you do now?
Let me talk to you frankly. Okay. It's not easy to discover the vocation and the mission. I feel that it's a continuous discovery. So I didn't reach a day where I said clearly, okay, this is my mission. Till now.
Okay.
So till now I feel that I have a vocation or a mission that it's continuous. So every day I discover more and more of a vocation and my mission. And every day Saint Charbel is surprising us with something. He's very funny. So yesterday I got a surprise.
You tell us about it?
Yeah, yesterday we went to visit a very famous castle that you have here. So we went and we met a lady. So this lady was praying the novena for Saint Charbel. Okay, she did the first day, second day, third day, and then on the ninth day, Alec called her and he said that, okay, Raymond is coming to see you, to visit the village. So she was so surprised that she was asking Saint Charbel for something. And at the end of the novena, I appeared there and we met. So she considered this like a sign that, okay, he's hearing her prayers and the novena was accepted. This is a very small surprise that I receive every day. So small surprises and big surprises. That's why I cannot say that everything in my mission is clear, because I'm still discovering more and more about my mission and vocation. I know one thing, that I have to follow Christ and witness for him. And the other things are in second place.
So one of the things about you is that you are still seeing Charbel.
No, around 50.
Or 50, sorry. And so he left you some messages, and like half of them are published right now?
No, now 1/4 of them.
1/4 of them. So what is happening to the other ones? Are you waiting for church to acknowledge them, or?
Yeah, in fact, it take a process with me. So I have to...
How does it look like with the process of
I write them down first,
okay.
And I pray a lot and meditate of them to make sure that they are really authentic with what I have received. Because, you know, it's not easy to express in words what you live in spirit. Okay, because I don't receive the messages in words. I receive them in spirit and I have to put them in words. So I am always very, very, very careful to put them in the right words to convey the right message. I don't want to get wrong there, because for me it will be something very tough. Because I have to be faithful for what I've received. So I spend a long time, years, meditating, praying on everything to get the correct message, the correct image. And then I write them down. I give them to my spiritual guide, who is a hermit in the Holy Saint, in the Holy Valley. And after that, talk to my bishop. There is a bishop responsible for all this, the action of the family of Saint Charbel. And after that, I share them with my colleagues in the family of Saint Charbel, and everything is registered, and they have copies. And when I got the approval that there is nothing which is in controversy with the church teaching, it's up to me to publish them.
Okay.
So now from the 55, 56 messages, I got the approval to publish 52 or 53 of them, because they are totally compliant with the teaching of the church. But now it's up to me when I have to write them down, to detail them, to put them in a book or in a video or in an interview. I don't know. I keep it up to God, so He will decide.
Okay. So are the messages like directed to all the people in this earth, or maybe a specific region, because Charbel is from Lebanon, so maybe all need to the Lebanese?
No, mostly they are universal messages for every human being on earth. They are focused on Jesus Christ, on following Jesus, following the teachings, to be strong, courageous, not to go with the flows, because there are a lot of flows that are squandering people in different ways. There is a lot of black ideas and confused ideas. You know that Satan is confusing the people. And the church is facing a lot of challenges. So most of the message is how to face the challenges, how to put ourselves in a situation where we can face these challenges without being affected with these poisons that are coming to us during these days, and especially for, with the technology, with the artificial intelligence, with all these things. Saint Charbel is coping up with the technology, so he knows what's going on with the artificial intelligence and all these things. And like he's protecting us from all these bad ideas and giving us the strength to keep going with the right and true teachings that are very authentic through the 2000 years of Christianity.
Yeah, I have got some quotes from Charbel messages. I would like to tell you some, and I would like to tell you I would like you to explain us a little bit more about those quotes. One of them is regarding a man of science, because you are the man of science. You're the engineer, nuclear physicist, right? So Charbel said, the basis of the universe, its law and regulations, is love. But many people think that those two things are contradict, like the faith and the science. How would you like explain it to us?
Yeah, this is wonderful, because my main mission now is this reconciliation between faith and science. I give a lot of conferences, especially for the youth in Lebanon and around the world, talking about science and faith. Now, with the new discoveries, there is not big conflict between science and faith. I'm so happy these days that science is confirming our faith. So when we educate our people, the first 6 conferences are purely scientific. So I explained for them how the universe was created, how it is functioning, talk about the galaxies, the stars, the atoms, and everything which is moving, the accuracy of this huge clock, which is the universe, this big intelligence behind this creation, and it's all proven scientifically. We can prove scientifically now that there is a creator. Now, let me say it not very aggressively. Only dumb people these days think that there is no creation. After the discovery of the Big Bang, the discovery of DNA, when you look at the human DNA, you will kneel down and start praying. It's impossible to get a DNA without an intelligence. The DNA is the most important sign of creation. You have a specific DNA, specifically for you, your own DNA, your own code. When you go to the supermarket, you have this barcode. So when you are paying, you pass by this red light. The red light will read the barcode, and they will know all the details of the product, where it is manufactured, how it was shipped, and what is the weight, the content, and everything. The DNA for the human being is the same. You pass with the DNA reader, and they know all your details. So it's impossible to get all these intelligent things without an intelligence. And after that, there is a lot of studies that prove that there is a creation. So now this is the first thing, that, okay, there is a creator. Now the difficult thing is the nature of this creator. Is he an engineer? Just an engineer, creating a huge clock, very accurate? Is he a man who is playing games, just making a very beautiful toy that is working perfectly, but without an aim, without a target? Or he is a loving father who takes care of his creation, where every detail is very important to him? The butterfly, and the cat, and the dog, and the tree, and the human being, which is the top of his creation, which are very important to this creator who is a loving father, which we believe, which is the most acceptable idea. It's so obvious that the creator should love his creation. When you are a painter and you paint a painting, you fall in love with your paintings. If you are composing musical passages, you will love the music that you composed. When you got kids, children, you fell in love with your children. Always the creator is in love with his creation. So this is the most logical thing, that the creator is a father, a loving father. So now there is no difference between there is no conflict, let's say, between science and faith. So that's why Saint Charbel saying that the base on which the whole creation was created is love, the love of God. Because God loved his creation, he created. And then when he created, he is in love with the creation. So love is the beginning of the creation, and love is the end of the creation. So everything was created with love. And this love was incarnated by Jesus Christ, who is the God incarnated. And the true love was revealed on the cross. Okay, as he said, that there is no greater love than that, to give our lives for the people, for the one whom we love. So the creation was based on love. Love is directing this creation. And love is the target and the end of this creation. That's what Saint Charbel said in 3 words.
So love is our goal, is the aim. We would like to join our Father who is in heaven. We would like to be with him. He is also the source of all the holiness, sanctity.
Exactly.
That's the other word, that's the other quote I would like to read right now, because Charbel said, "Sanctity does not come by chance. Sanctity is a choice."
Exactly.
How do you define sanctity?
Some people, there is a wrong idea going among people that some people are chosen to be saints. Saint Charbel, God chose him to be saint, so he be saint. I have nothing to do with him. So this is wrong. We were all created to become saints. It's not a chance. So Saint Charbel got a chance, Saint Francis got a chance, Saint Teresa, Saint Rita. It's not a matter of chance. They are very lucky to become saints. No, it's not a matter of luck. It's a choice. You choose. When you choose Jesus, you choose to become a saint. It's not like lottery. So you win or you lose. So you have to choose to follow Christ. And you follow Christ. When you all you have to do is to choose him. You cannot become saint by your power. Just choose Christ. Tell him, okay, my Lord, I will follow you. It's your decision. And then the work will be his work through the Holy Spirit. So that's why Saint Charbel was calling people to become saints, telling them that it's not a chance. It's your will. Just decide to become a saint.
So we can be saying one of the things that where we can be saints is the family, and Charbel is saying about the family. Let me just read that passage, that every family is a holy family because it is the image of God, the Trinity. And what is marriage and family to you? How do you feel, and how would you say that person in a family can become a saint?
You know, as Saint Charbel said, that the family, the human family, is an image of God, because God is a family, is a Father and Son and Holy Spirit. He is a family. So the human family is the image of God in this world. That's why it's holy. Every family, father and mother and children, the family is holy as a concept and as a way of life. You cannot, you know, that inside the family you get to know more the free love. You know, you love the fathers, the parents love their children freely without anything. They sacrifice themselves for their kids, and the kids will love each other freely. So, and they sacrifice one for another. This is the top of the kind of love that a human being can live. It's inside his family. This is the purest and the most let's say pure love that anyone can start loving. It's inside his family. So the family is the place where we are trained to go out to the world and spread love, because we get the love in the family. So if the family is broken, the members of the family will be broken. So they will not be able to grow in love and to spread love around. So that's why the family is sacred. It's something holy. And Saint Charbel said in the same message, preserve the warmth of the family, because all the warmth of the world cannot compensate it. If you didn't get love in your family, you will not be able to get it anywhere, because it's a special kind of love. which reflect the love of God, the Father.
Mhm. We were talking about being saints, and it's not that easy. We're talking about love, that it is our aim, but sometimes it's really difficult. And Schaubel has got like we can say, very inconvenient words for us. Do not nag, grumble, fidget, or complain.
Yeah,
Don't give up. Without pain, there will be neither bread nor wine.
exactly. Exactly. This is what we call in our spirituality, the spirituality of the cross. The cross means that you have to give yourself. Your life is not for you. So my life is not mine. My life is to give to others. Giving yourself to others, this is a cross. Okay, you have to give your life, to sacrifice your life. So if you want to sacrifice your life for the people that you love, so why nagging? Why complaining? Since you are doing this with love, you know, you cannot imagine a father or a mother complaining of sacrificing themselves for their children. It will look awkward. So he said, since you are giving yourself and sacrificing yourself out of love for the people, so why are you complaining and nagging and doing all these things? You have to do it cheerfully, with love, with happiness. So that's why the spirituality of the cross, which is the Eastern spirituality and the Maronite spirituality, is to give ourselves, even if we have pain and suffering, but with happiness.
Is the other thing that stops us sometimes from the decision, from choosing being a saint, is our weakness, if we can say it. And Schaubel says, your weakness is there for you to overcome and not to use as an excuse.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to people who feel defeated?
You know, usually when we commit sin, we have always an excuse, an alibi. Okay, I'm weak. Because I'm weak, I'm sinning. Okay, God. God who created you knows exactly that you are weak. He knows that you are weak. And he knows that through your weakness, you will become saint. As St. Paul said, my weakness is my strength. So he said, okay, don't take your weakness as an alibi, as a reason to sin. Okay, I am weak, so I'll be sinning. Just try to overcome it. He's saying that it's a battle against sin. It's not to let go. So you have to fight, you have to struggle against your weakness. And this is the sanctity. St. Charbel was a human being like us. He had his weaknesses, his strength. And he's advising us that instead of being completely surrendered to our weakness and say, okay, we are weak, we can do nothing, we cannot become saints. He's saying that you can become saints even if you are weak, because God knows exactly that you are weak. He created you and he formed you. And he wants you to fight against your weakness and to struggle to become saint. And you know that this is something so thrilling. When you live in a kind of sin, when you get out of your sin, it's the most beautiful feeling that a human being can feel. This feeling of freedom. Because when you sin, you feel that like you are a slave. Okay, you feel chains around you. You feel that you are not happy. You are living in something dark. And then when you get out of your sin, you feel that the chains are broken. You can breathe. There is light. So you live this beautiful feeling of freedom. That's why St. Charbel is talking. Get rid of your weakness. You have to overcome your weakness, and you will taste this happiness. So don't surrender to you. Oh, we are weak, and stay enchained. Get free. And all that we do, St. Charbel is always insisting that we cannot do with our own strength and power. What is doing this with us, inside of us, is the Holy Spirit, the work of God.
Is prayer something that can help us in the weakness, in fighting the weakness?
It's the only thing that can help. What we can do other than that.
So there's a quote from Charbel once again. One cannot pray and not serve, but neither can one serve without praying.
Exactly. You know, because there is a slight nuance, a slight difference. When you're serving without loving, humanly you are serving yourself. So what is the motive of serving? Why do you serve people? What is the motive? What is the motivation? that will tell you, okay, you have to serve the people and to sacrifice for them. If it's not out of love, it will be out of interest. So what is your interest in serving people? So you'll not be serving people, you'll be serving yourself. And if you love without serving, so how do you live this love? It's just an affection. Okay, I'm loving people. Well, how do you translate this life, this love? How do you live it? You have to express it with your deeds. So you have to love and serve. Love without serve, it's nothing said. It's like you are dividing the cross. Love without serve is the vertical one, and serving without loving is the horizontal one. When you serve and love, this is the cross. That's why Saint Charbel is saying that your love alone, like the epistle of Saint Jacob, your love alone has nothing. And serving alone, you could have different interests in this one.
Okay, so one more question that I have for you, because many people were brought to Charbel because of the miracles, and there are like thousands of miracles in Anaya written down. And in one of the messages, he says, "Do not be distracted, running after miracles that dazzle your eyes. Nothing is greater than the miracle of the Holy Eucharist."
Exactly.
How can we combine those two things?
You know, people mostly, they like the extraordinary things. They like to see something extraordinary to believe. And Saint Charbel knows that all people are running after miracles. When you say that there is a miracle somewhere, all people will run to see the miracle. Okay, our Lord Jesus Christ used the miracles to draw people to God, to show them the glory of God, not to stay on the level of miracles. So what's happening in Anaya with Saint Charbel, not only in Anaya, all around the world, Saint Charbel is performing miracles to draw people to God, to draw them to the Holy Eucharist. Because if you stop at the miracle, it's like you are going to the city and you stop at the sign. Okay, if you are going to, let's say, to Krakow, you have to go to Krakow, not to when you see a sign of Krakow to stand and, okay, I'm in Krakow. No, you're on the sign. So miracles are just signs to glorify God. So people, they can see the glory of God to go to God. So every miracle, Saint Charbel said, that will not lead you to the Eucharist, it's just a show. And you know that Satan is working through these, sometimes, some extraordinary shows to drive people away from the Lord. So we have to discern clearly that, okay, I've seen a miracle, wonderful. What do I have to do with it? This miracle should push me to glorify God, to thank God, to feel the presence of God, and then I go to the Holy Eucharist, where is the real presence of God, not to keep watching miracles. It's not a movie. So we have to go. That's why every miracle that will draw us to Jesus is a true miracle. And every miracle, which is an extraordinary thing, I don't know how it happened, which will draw you away from God, it's something sometimes satanic. So what most important for Saint Charbel is to point Jesus Christ for the people, not just the miracles. Because the greatest miracle is when your conversion to Jesus Christ. When you convert, this is the miracle, regardless of what is happening in the outside.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope that, and we will be praying so that through your mission, many, many people will come to Christ and to the Eucharist. Thank you. It was a pleasure having you here and talking to you. Hope to see you again and talk to you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to answer these questions. And if you have another more 40 questions,
I just asked 20 of them. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll have another episode.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.